What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and once again, we are proven right. Dragon Age The Veilguard looks like crap, and it has a character creator that prevents players from making characters that look like actual women. Meanwhile, the new game Throne and Liberty allows players to make characters that don't have the body proportions of a broomstick.
Yes! Yes!
Once again, a South Korean developer has done what Western developers refuse to do. In Throne and Liberty, we have a game where the dudes look like dudes and the women look like women. And as a result, the game is sitting at damn near the top of the Steam charts as the number 3 top seller on the platform. Compare that to the likes of Dragon Age The Veilguard, which is being made by a self-proclaimed queerosexual gendermancer. It can't even crack the top 100 yet on the bestsellers list, and yeah, there really is no comparison. Dragon Age is currently sitting at 122 because it is ugly as sin and mired in controversy.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening.
Now, I can already hear some of you saying, wait a minute, Throne and Liberty is a free-to-play game. How can we make comparisons like this? To which I will reply that the game doesn't release for another couple days, but early access to Throne and Liberty is available for people who want to pay for it, and already the game has seen damn near 55,000 concurrent players on Steam. Compare that to the likes of, say, Concord's free beta, which couldn't even hit 3,000, and there really is just no comparison. Games like Throne and Liberty, which aren't afraid of curvy female characters and non-emasculated men, those games are a breath of fresh air, and it's unsurprising to see the game doing so well.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter, where I keep a list of woke and DEI infected games pinned to the account for your reference at all times. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. In any event, let's talk about Throne and Liberty, which is set to roll out to the general public on October 1st. As I said before, it is a free-to-play game, and it's an MMO, and the combat and graphics and everything on it look pretty darn decent, considering that it is a free-to-play. Naturally, there are microtransactions in the game, which I'm not a fan of, but considering that the game doesn't cost anything at the outset, you have to figure that the developers have to make money somehow. So with that in mind, it doesn't really bother me. The reviewers on Metacritic really seem to be docking this game for having in-game currencies that you can pay for, along with leveling bonuses and things like that, but I would not be surprised if one of the major reasons the reviewers aren't giving it great scores is because, once again, we have a South Korean developer who made a game where female characters get to look like females. Now, for the ugly, screeching harpy feminist types who don't want to hold themselves to any beauty or health standards at all, this is a real problem. They want to stamp out the very knowledge of the existence of women who aren't blue-haired land whales. Otherwise, they start acting like the evil queen in Snow White.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
It's not you.
Well, tough shit. This is what gamers want to be able to do. They want to play games like Throne and Liberty. My comment section is constantly inundated with female gamers who tell me that actually they do want to make their characters with a chest size larger than an A cup, and they want to make characters with a booty. I talked often about how male gamers make up the majority of gamers fairly often, and yes, that's true, but that is not to discount the fact that female gamers do exist, and they are just as annoyed as male gamers at the fact that these modern developers in the West can't stand curvy female characters for some inexplicable reason. At a certain point, I just chalk it up to spite and jealousy from the developers, which are now being dominated by the childless cat ladies and their simps. Now, once again, let's compare what we're seeing with Throne and Liberty to Dragon Age The Veilguard, where the game is due to come out in a month. It's a AAA title with a major IP attached to it, and the marketing for this game is in full swing. Every other article that pops up on my social media feed seems to be some mainstream media outlet trying to sell me on playing Dragon Age. And yet, yesterday, when I covered The Veilguard, I mentioned that the game was number 107 on the Steam chart's top seller list, but today, when I looked again, it has dropped 15 spots to number 122. That is not exactly the direction that BioWare wants to be going, considering that they are set to launch in almost exactly a month. This is not the direction they want to be going. They should be picking up steam, but they can't even crack the top 100 because, let's face it, the shit they're doing to pander to people is only appealing to a small percentage of gamers out there. Meanwhile, Throne and Liberty isn't doing any pandering. They just let you play a game with normal-looking men and normal-looking women, and that seems to be enough. All that said though, there do seem to be some issues with the game. It currently has only a 65% positive score among reviewers on Steam. The biggest issue seems to be a series of performance problems that have been causing issues to the point that there was reportedly a 6-hour downtime at one stage while developers fixed the game. I can see why gamers would be pissed. Those people who paid for early access had a 6-hour window where they couldn't play, and frankly, in my mind, they deserve some kind of a refund for that. Players who missed playing time after paying for early access should be given in-game currency or something like that from the developers as a gesture of apology. But meanwhile, if we look over at the Metacritic score, we can see that the game is currently sitting at a 70 out of 100, though that's only based on 8 critic reviews, and out of those 8 reviews, 3 of them didn't bother to give it an actual score. It seems that the mainstream media is giving this game the lollipop chainsaw treatment. They just aren't reviewing it, despite the fact that the review embargo has clearly been lifted for about 3 days now. Even if they argue that they weren't given early access, which I doubt, but even if that was the case, 3 days is plenty of time to buy early access, play for several hours, and then write a review. I've noticed that after Stellar Blade, a lot of these mainstream media types are ignoring games that do not fit their worldview. So that's a thing, I guess. But I am not going to ignore it. This game looks solid, and it's number 3 on Steam right now for a reason. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you think of Throne and Liberty so far? How much better does it look than the dumpster fire that is Dragon Age The Veilguard? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.